Welcome back to the channel, folks. This morning's interview is a discussion with an agency in Batumi, Georgia, Brionix, and just to make a comparison really between what we do here in Romania at White Mountain Property and what Brionix does in Batumi, Georgia. So Vitaly, welcome to the channel, and I just want to go through some questions that we discussed before that the viewers at home might be interested, if that works for you. Basically, I just wanted to have a brief opening context, who Brionix is, who you are, what you do, the type of clients you solve, why Batumi is becoming increasingly interesting as an investment hub and also a destination for, let's say, retirement and people wanting a better quality of life than they get in the West. Touch on let's say, the cost of living, just a brief outline, the process of buying property to live and also to invest, and also the process of renting if we've got time for that. So over to you to start with opening context about who Brionix and you are.
Well, hello there, people watching this video. We, Brionix, are an international agency and currently are working in Georgia, Batumi primarily. So we have over 30 years of experience. We were established in '96. And we have the experience in real estate all over the world, including Latvia, California, Russia, Ukraine, and Georgia right now. So currently we have 6 core members and 25 of the extended team members that also work with us. So what we do, we help the clients that are looking for a rent, we help the clients that are looking for investment, and we are helping the clients that are looking for something for themselves to permanently live in the Batumi. The range of our clients for the rental is starting with just $300 per month. And if you're talking about buying an apartment, either it be investment apartment or something for yourself, we can start at $50,000. And if you are looking for something for the investment specifically, you can start as low as $5,000 for the down payment. So basically, if you're looking to buy something in Georgia, in Batumi specifically, you can start looking into this with just $5,000 in your pocket.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and why Batumi?
Why Batumi? The Georgia is a small country between Turkey and Russia, and it's a seaside country with a coast of 310 kilometers, around 310 kilometers. And the Batumi itself is the crown jewel of this whole coast. It's around 10 kilometers on the seaside, and all the investment that goes on the seaside properties goes into Batumi right now. So this is like the huge place that attracts investments from around the world, and specifically the real estate investments. If anybody was here or have heard about Batumi, they might have an idea what it looks like. Basically, it's a small city that some would just call a town, but it has skyscrapers in it. So that's basic rundown of what Batumi is.
How tall are the skyscrapers there?
Some are 220 meters of height, so they're like around 60 floors, and we are building even higher ones. So
Wow, yeah, that's incredible. I remember how Batumi was 15 years ago, and it was all very low skyline, so it's quite a change in just 15, 16 short years. Very interesting. And what about, so basically if people want to reach you, we'll put your link and contact details in the description anyway. What sort of clients do you get? What nationalities come to you typically?
Well, typically we have investors all over the world who care about their money and don't want them to just lay in the pockets, because of the inflation and difficult situation all over the world with the politics and instability. So Georgia right now is a very stable place, and the investment that people do in Georgia are primarily real estate investment, which are one of the more stable types of the investment, because you know what you're investing into. You're not investing in some arbitrary numbers or some papers. You're investing into the concrete, and concrete being on a seashore is gonna be always in demand. So the price and the demand for that property always increases, so does the price. So the real estate investment in Batumi is a great way to save your money and also make some money. If you're talking the shorter term of the investment, maybe like 5 years or 3 years. And also a great source of the long-term investment, since there are hotel type apartments that can get you 10 to 15% ROI back annually without you doing anything. So it's a completely passive income. Just invest once and get your money back later. That's
And what would be a typical ROI? Let's say of I don't know, 100k apartment. Somebody invests in a 100k apartment, all included, with the furniture and everything. What would be a typical rental of something like that?
So if you're talking investment properties for the rental through the management, for $100,000 you can get the standard number in the hotel, which will be completely managed by the hotel staff. And in that scenario, the average price for one day in a season will be around $200-ish, maybe more, maybe less, depending on what kind of a hotel you have. And if you're talking about $100,000 for the apartment that you want to live in, that would be a 1-bedroom, maybe even a 2-bedroom apartment with a fully furnished. And that apartment you can rent out on average for the long term, so it's a monthly price, for $700 to maybe $800 per month. So that's what you're looking at.
Around about 9% ROI. Very good.
And that's a long-term rental, so yeah.
Yeah, and what about older stock? You mentioned new construction, but let's say older. If they're worth investing, even.
I would say it's a difficult matter. If you're looking for something to live in, not really make money out of, but just live in, you can look into the older projects, especially older projects in the older part of the city. Because in the older part of the city there is not really that many apartments to choose from to begin with, so you are really stuck with the older options. But if you're looking the new part of the city and the newest part of the city, then it's better to consider a new building, because the older buildings in that area, they are not really viable for anything, to be fair.
Okay, so you don't have historic properties, let's say 50, 80, 100-year-old older properties that are worth investing in?
There are, but they are in the older part of the city.
And give us an example of one of those, because some people might prefer that style.
Well, it's hard to describe. Well, they're like typical European style houses made out of bricks sometimes. Sometimes they made out of the stone, like, I don't know how it's called in English, but it's made out of stone basically, like the huge walls, like thick walls. And some buildings are more of the USSR era buildings, so they're made like commie blocks. Just call them commie blocks, right? You know what I mean?
Concrete blocks,
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And what about the process of buying property? Let's say somebody's interested to invest in Batumi to work with you. What is the process? And they're in, I don't know, America or France or wherever. What is the process?
So I want to start with, there are two ways to buy a property here. One is being from the developer, so you have the contract with the developer, and the other one is to buy from the owner and become an owner. So you have to register yourself at the House of Justice, at the Georgian system, so inside the governmental system, right? So for the first type, if you're buying from the developer something that's being built, you don't really have to go anywhere. You can do it from your sofa at home, and you get the contract for the future ownership that is being signed with you and the developer company. So you don't really have to go through the governmental registry, so you don't have to come to Georgia. You can just buy it on a distance on the internet. And if you're looking to register your name in the governmental system, you can either come to Georgia and do it. It takes literally a couple hours, not more than that. And if you don't want to come here, you can make a power of attorney for me, for example, or our company's other member, and do it through the power of the attorney. It will cost you a little bit more, maybe $1,000, but you don't have to come. So if your plane tickets are way more than $1,000, you can do that and save some money.
Okay, fair enough. And the process of renting, again, if somebody wants to find a place to live there, of course they would come in person to Batumi, but presumably before they come you can even do video presentations of rental properties, right?
Yes, of course. We can help with the rental property because I know it's a stress when you come to the new country and then you have to live there and then you have to go somewhere right away. Of course, we can help with that. So, of course, we can help you find the property, make a video viewing of it, tell you all the pros and cons of the place you choose, and depending on what you're looking for, we can find the best solution for you. So, yeah, of course, we can do that.
Okay. And then the last question is the cost of living. Give us some examples of everyday living in Batumi, Georgia.
Yeah, so everyday living. Everyday living in Batumi is extremely cheap, especially if you're coming from the Europe or America or somewhere more or less wealthy country, right? So if you have a work online that earns you around $700 to $1,000, you can live worry-free in Batumi. That's 100%. Just $700 a month will be enough. The rent, if you just rent a studio apartment for the long term for $300, you're left with $400 on your in your pocket, and that's enough to live comfortably, eat at a restaurant, and do whatever you want the whole month.
It's a typical meal in a restaurant, an everyday mom and pop restaurant.
So if you're talking about like a pizza and a beer, for example, at some pizzeria, that will cost you around $13. The taxi from one side of the city to the other side of the city is around $3 to $4 depending on the weather. Utilities in a month, like the colder month, like a winter month, like now when you have to warm or heat your apartment, is around $40 including the internet. And the nice dinner for two, nothing too crazy, but also you're not really picking the cheapest option, will be around $35 for two people.
Very interesting. Okay, thank you for that. And for the viewers at home, if you've got any questions for Vitaly, please put them in the comments below. Like and subscribe, of course, that helps the channel grow. And we look forward to see you in the next video where we do the reverse and discuss the same process but in Bucharest and Brasov, Romania. So until next time, thank you for tuning in.
Oh, thank you for having me. And I hope so we meet some of you here in Batumi because it's a gorgeous city and I highly advise you to check it out. Instead of going to some Milan for the 10th time, maybe come to Batumi.
I was there in the summer and I have to say I was very impressed by Georgia in general. The people, everything, the food, the scenery, the weather was superb. I was there in June, I think June this year, yeah.
Also, one more thing about coming to Batumi, I forgot to mention, but there is a visa-free regime for half of the whole Earth. So basically 90 countries can come here visa-free and hassle-free. You don't get asked anything at the border. They check your document, they check you, and you're in the country. So very easy to get here.
Great question, we missed that. So let's say, I don't know, a European Union citizen or an American coming to Batumi to invest, let's say to retire. How long can they stay there on a visa? I understand it's 1 year?
Basically, yes, 1 year, but basically it's indefinite because you can stay for 1 year during 1 year. So you can stay the whole year during the year. And to renew this 1 year, you have to exit the country and enter it again. So what we do here is called a visa run. You go to the Turkish border, which is like 20 minutes away on a car from Batumi. You cross the Turkish border and then immediately cross back to the Georgia. That whole process takes about half an hour to 1 hour, depending on the queues and the people. So in just 2 hours, you can basically renew your whole year of staying in Batumi. Yeah, that's very easy to do.
It's an important point that Batumi is located in the southwest of Georgia, which is very close to the northeast corner of Turkey, so just for the viewers at home to understand where that is. And then in the future, if people want to liquidate their investment, they can also work with you to sell the property?
Of course, yes. We do work with the international investors all over the world, so we are looking for the buyer, and we also help to buy you something that will be easier to sell, because usually that's what we do with our clients. We help them buy, we help them sell, so we help them make money. So it's in our best interest to help you buy something that we will be able to sell later. So.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Yeah, see ya. Nice talking to you. Have a good day.